meeting of the Greenville County Planning Commission is hereby called to order. At today's meeting, we will review subdivision applications and other items brought to us by staff. The subdivision matters we will review today were previously reviewed by the Subdivision Advisory Committee. At that meeting, the reviewing agencies presented their preliminary findings to staff. Based on comments from the Subdivision Advisory Committee, along with a review of the applicable sections of the ordinance, staff has prepared recommended conditions of approval for each preliminary plat. These recommendations will be provided to the Planning Commission as part of its review of each request. Anyone wishing to address the Commission on subdivision matters should have signed up to speak. I'd like to welcome everybody and wish you a Merry Christmas. And Mr. Moore is going to take care of our invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we ask you bless this meeting, grant us wisdom, clear communication, and a spirit of teamwork to find the best solutions for the tasks we have at hand, bringing positive impact to our community and for all those that we serve. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Minutes of our November meeting. Any revisions? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve minutes as submitted.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Holland made a motion to approve. Ms. Manning has a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Rezoning request.
We do not have any.
Okay, just checking. You put it on here.
We will have 5 in January.
That's not bad. All right, before we get started, I need to, wherever it went to. Even though council voted and told us to reconsider Owens Glen, our legal department has asked us to take a vote on whether or not we will consider reconsideration. So I need a motion to reconsider not only the subdivision, but the one variance.
So moved.
All righty, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Parham. Ms. Manning has the first. Mr. Parham's got the second. Any discussion on this? All in favor to reconsider, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, Ms. Staton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is PP 2024-109 Owens Glen. It's a rural conservation subdivision located southwest of the intersection of Highway 25 and Bessie Road. The applicant is requesting 288 lots on 121.41 acres for a density of 2.37 units per acre. Access is provided off of North Flat Rock Road and Owens Road, both county roads. Here's the site outlined in red. And here is Owens Road looking east and looking west. Here is the site plan that was included in the packets. The project includes 3 ingress-egress points, 6 new public roads, 2 cluster mailboxes with 90-degree parking stalls, 1 proposed playground, 50-foot stream buffers, 50-foot buffers around the perimeter of the site, 1 stub out for future connectivity, 6 detention ponds, and a proposed pool amenity. The subject site is a part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, where it is designated as rural living. Rural living place types are transitional areas that offer opportunities for low-intensity development that is well integrated with the natural landscape and agricultural uses, with a recommended density of 1 dwelling per every 2+ acres. The site is also a part of the South Greenville Area Plan, where it is designated as transitional residential. These place types have a recommended density of 2 to 3 dwellings per acre. Owens Glen is proposing 2.37 units per acre. Here is the site, and across the street from the site, VAR 2024-105 landscape variance was submitted with this application to request a variance from LDR section 22.3.5B, which requires areas where the existing vegetation does not create a visual screen between development and adjoining road frontages and adjoining parcels to provide a landscape screen of at least 6 feet in height. The screening is required to consist of evergreen plant material at least 6 feet in height at the time of planting. The applicant states that for this development, the areas where existing vegetation does not create a visual screen falls within an existing overhead power easement. Per the applicant, since Duke Energy will not allow for the necessary 6-foot-high landscape screen across their easement, a variance is being requested for the areas where the easement intersects with the property line. No comments were provided on the variance at SAC. SAC comments that were provided at that SAC meeting are as follows. From Greenville County Floodplain Management, the firm panel number on the preliminary plan should be corrected to show that the panel number is as shown on the screen. From the South Greenville Fire District, fire hydrants should be placed at each entrance, and they should be no more than 600 feet between hydrants, which is driving distance. This comment was addressed with the final submittal. And from Greenville County Roads and Bridges, recommend left turn lanes on North Flat Rock Road. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan and variance request with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions of approval are as follows. 1, please provide confirmation from Greenville County Floodplain Management that the correct panel number is now shown on the preliminary plan. If necessary, please provide a revised preliminary plan with the correct panel number. Provide left turn lanes on North Flat Rock Road. Traffic improvements warranted as a result of the required traffic impact study must be installed once 40 lots have been recorded. And 4, preservation of riparian buffers shall be provided by final plat and deed restrictions. Mr. Chairman.
All righty, thank you, ma'am. We're going to start with the opposition. You get a total of 10 minutes. You take it all or take parts of it, but each side gets a total of 10. Amy McCord. Name and address, please, ma'am.
Amy McCord, 380 Owens Road, Piedmont, South Carolina, 29673. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Amy McCord, and I'm speaking on behalf of a large group of Greenville County residents who have followed the Owens Glen subdivision closely for almost 2 years. First, I want to thank you for agreeing to this December meeting. And second, I want to acknowledge the position you are in today. The Planning Commission is not a political body, it is a technical one. You serve as a check and balance guided by the land development regulations, the comprehensive plan, the area plans, and state law. That role matters, especially in moments like this. County Council has asked you to reconsider the 2024 Owens Glen approval. Under Article 6, Section 4 of your bylaws, you are clearly authorized to do so when requested by the governing body. This consideration, while it seems unusual, is not. It is exactly how the system is designed to correct approvals that raise legitimate concerns. From the community's perspective, the issue before you is not complicated. The 2024 plan approved 2.38 homes per acre in an area designated rural by both the Greenville County Comp Plan and the Piedmont area plans. Plans that clearly call for 1 home per 2 acres. That is not a small deviation, it is a direct conflict with adopted land use policy. At the same time, the existing roadway infrastructures cannot safely support the traffic this development would generate. Flat Rock Road is as narrow as 15 feet in some sections, has no paved shoulders, limited sight distance, and sharp curves. Emergency access, service vehicles, pedestrians, and everyday drivers are already at risk. A 288 home subdivision would add roughly 2,600 vehicle trips per day per normal traffic engineering calculations on roads that are already unsafe. Together, these two issues, density and transportation, go to the heart of your responsibility. Some have suggested that the removal of formal LDR 3.1 limits what the Planning Commission can consider, but that is not the case. While 3.1 was removed, it was replaced with Article 22, which under state law continues to require that rural subdivisions be evaluated through the lens of the comprehensive plan, area plans, site conditions, and infrastructure capacity. The obligation to ensure compatibility, safety, and orderly growth did not disappear. It remains central to your review and authority. Under South Carolina Code 629-1120, your purpose is clear: to ensure safe and adequate transportation, to promote economically sound communities, and to ensure development occurs in harmony with the comprehensive plan. Shortly, you may hear arguments from the developer about reliance, timing, or consistency with prior approvals. But this Commission's obligation is not to carry forward a past decision. Your obligation is to independently evaluate whether this proposal complies with the code, the plan, and state law as it stands today. From the community's standpoint, this reconsideration is about restoring confidence in the planning process. Nearly 1,000 residents have signed a petition opposing this subdivision. Many are here tonight, and others are participating remotely because a 4:30 weekday meeting is difficult working families. I'd like it to be acknowledged that we have another 20 participants via Zoom. We welcome growth, but we want smart growth. Growth that follows the rules, respects the comprehensive plan, and does not put families in danger on roads that cannot safely support this type of development. Reconsidering and ultimately denying this plan would affirm that the comprehensive plan and area plans have meaning, rural designations matter, public safety matters, and approvals must meet both policy intent and technical standards. Tonight is your opportunity to finish what County Council started, to correct an approval that did not align with the plan, the statutes, or the rural protections that guide development in this part of Greenville County. Please vote to withdraw or deny the 2024 Owens Glen Plan. Thank you for your time, for your service, and for taking your role as a check and balance seriously.
Thank you, ma'am. Alfred Merriman? Well, you signed up. All right, we'll try somebody else here. Kathy, with the last name I'm not even going to try. Werglodowski. I am getting better.
Hello.
Hello, name and address,
Good
please.
evening. My name's Kathy Wyglodowski. I live at 457 North Flat Rock Road. If you look at that, at the top part of that, if you look right below it, that's my property. I own 15.7 acres, which I will be surrounded by this Owens Glen on 3 sides of my property. That's what I'll be looking at, 3 sides. I moved out to this rural area because I didn't want to live next to 288 other people. If I wanted to live next to 288 people, I would have bought a house in the subdivision or in the city of Greenville. But I did not, and neither did any of my neighbors. If Owens Glen is approved, I will be looking at approximately 20 backyards down one side of my property. Are all those properties going to have dogs in their backyard chasing my chickens around my 16 acres? How many of those people are going to be complaining that my roosters are crowing at 4 in the morning, waking them up? How many of those neighbors are going to be complaining the smell of the livestock from the cows and horses and goats of everybody around me? That was there first before the subdivision. This is wrong on very many levels. I have put in medicinal gardens, flower gardens, vegetable gardens. I put in fruit trees, grapevines. How do I move all that stuff and start over again to a new homestead? This is very wrong. You are changing our way of life. This is not a city. This is a rural community that does not want a city planted in the middle of it. Your decision should not be biased because you are afraid of getting sued. It should be based on doing the right thing for the people that you are working for. It is a tough job, and I wouldn't want to be in your situation. But this is what y'all signed up for. You have to make some hard decisions. And for God's sakes, don't let D.R. Horton be the one that comes in and does this to our neighborhood. This company has created hundreds and hundreds of nightmares with code violations. There's a whole Facebook page dedicated to the mess they make. This company shouldn't even be in business. They don't even, does this even matter to anybody? Do you know what is going to happen to our neighborhood in the long run after all these houses fall apart and then they're sold and they're garbage and they're now rentals because the people that bought them don't want to live in them anymore? I looked up the meaning of rural because our community is a rural community. And I got a few different ideas. One said it was relating to the characteristic of the country. 2, rural is characterized as low population density, lack of infrastructure, and this is what distinguishes rural from urban environment. Another one said rural was farms, villages, natural landscapes, forests, and landscapes. Another said characteristics include low housing density, country, farms, and a distance from larger populations. This neighborhood is not urban, it's not suburban, it's not city, it's rural. And if a subdivision is allowed to be planted in the middle of it, it won't be rural anymore. You don't see acres and acres of land cleared for pastures in the middle of a city Why is it okay to clear acres and acres of land in the middle of a rural area for clusters of houses? Clusters of houses is what you see in a city. Where do we go? If you want to have a farm or a homestead, do you have to keep moving and starting over and going because you're going to get enveloped into growth? Is there a safe place in Greenfield County to have a homestead? Let me know where that is, because I'd like to be there. And I would like to also consider that possibly we could put a moratorium on our area of rural development until all the other, I mean, I don't know if you go up and down 86, and in the Piedmont area, there are so many subdivisions right now already in progress. What effect are they going to have on our neighborhood? Maybe we should wait and see how all that pans out before you start approving any new ones. Thank you for hearing me.
All right, thank you, ma'am. That's all that signed up in opposition. So that completes that. Let's do in favor. Al Seaball, whatever.
Good evening. My name is Allie Seaball. I represent the developer, Four Star. For the record, I would like to note that I will not be offering comment on this item today. An appeal has been filed with the Circuit Court, and as a result, I no longer believe this is the proper forum for addressing the issues associated with this matter. My silence should not be interpreted as agreement or waiver of any rights or as a lack of opposition to the Planning Commission revoking the prior approval. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, we've heard everybody. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Did I hear her correctly? An appeal has been filed with Circuit Court?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we hearing this?
It's been filed. It hadn't been served.
Oh, it has not been served?
No.
Oh, so we...
Has it?
The county officially has no official knowledge?
You have no notice of this other than that?
I think that if you want to talk about legal matters, you should go into executive session.
Okay.
Is that necessary?
No, I don't think so. It's not.
Did he know about the appeal?
Yeah.
I don't believe it matters either way.
Yeah.
We've got a job to do. Let's get it done.
Well, just because she throws that in our face
Yeah.
doesn't mean we don't worry about
Because
it.
the council's asked us, and we voted to reconsider,
Yeah.
so we need to go through that.
All right, any other questions?
I'd like to know why we're reviewing a 2024 plan when there was a 2025 plan, and why the 24 plan was still valid, even though a new application was submitted.
So that's two separate questions, so I'm going to answer it in
Okay.
two parts. A new application for a revision to a plan doesn't negate an approval. It's a request to update a plan. That previous approval still stands for any plan that would be approved for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to request a renewal, or if you submit for a land disturbance permit, that approval of the land disturbance permit, that permit is what holds with it, and then you no longer need a preliminary plan approval.
Okay.
And then I think you had a second part of your question, but I'm trying to remember exactly how you asked it.
Well, I think we all believed, and the public also as well, when you have a new application and you would think it would override the previous one, because an applicant is not going to come and pay the fees and go through all the trouble of submitting an application, a new application, if they can develop using the prior one that was already
Well,
approved.
there are a lot of changes that were required. There were stormwater issues, I believe, that required coming back for the second. And,
Right.
But there's two different application numbers.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just because one was approved and one was denied, the two separate. One didn't override the other,
Okay.
like I thought, too. But
All right.
did that answer?
It does. Thank you.
Ms. Manning,
Is the developer here?
they're
Okay.
not going to speak.
Well, no, I'm just kind of curious. Did you ever take the time to consult with any of the residents in the area?
Ms. Manning, they're not going to answer these questions.
Okay, just curious because it seems to me that there could be some area for some cooperation and for some compromise here because, heck, you might even find some buyers for crying out loud. But it seems to me very odd that, in fact, there wasn't any attempt to have any type of conversation whatsoever with the surrounding residents. That just seems like a marketing opportunity that was ignored.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Mr. Moore?
Has the developer ever been at Bessie Road at 7 o'clock in the morning? Flat Rock Road empties into Bessie Road. There's no stop lights. That's backed up for half a mile or more. Same thing happens at night. If you have 2,600 cars, and I know they're not all going to go that same way, but if a third of them go that way, you're talking almost 800 cars onto a road that's already overloaded. I know the traffic study doesn't require them to look at that far out, but for that reason, and we have a comprehensive plan that is a guideline. You use guidelines, state law, someone mentioned 6/29/1120. There's a safety issue, there's a character issue. For that, I'm going to vote against it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moore. Like he alluded to, Section 629/1120 of the South Carolina Enabling Act does say the public health, safety, economy, good order, appearance, convenience, morals, and general welfare require the harmonious, orderly, and progressive development of land within the counties of the state of South Carolina. In furtherance of this general intent, the regulation of land development by counties is authorized for the following purposes. Number 3, to assure the adequate provision of safe and convenient traffic access and circulation, both vehicular and pedestrian, in and through new land developments. And number 5, to assure in general the wise and timely development of new areas and redevelopment of previously developed areas in harmony with the comprehensive plans of the counties. Because it doesn't comply or conform with the comp plan, the area plan, and the transportation infrastructure, it's not there to safely support a subdivision of the size. I can't support this either.
Mr. Chair, I concur. And as a couple of the folks earlier stated, you know, part of our job, I think, is to complement what the technical aspects of the staff does. We have some discretion, and we need to keep in mind the current taxpayers and the folks that are already living there, that move there for that way of life as was described earlier. And when you take that away from them, there's a cost involved. And I think that's part of our job and our responsibility. So for that reason, I can't support it either. And if we're ready to make a motion, unless somebody has other things, I'm ready to make a motion.
No, you go right ahead.
I make a motion to deny based on all the prior comments and conversation.
I'll second that.
All righty. Mr. Parham made a motion to deny. Ms. Manning has the second based on all the things that I cited shortly ago. Any other comments? Yes, sir, Mr. Hammond.
I must not be able to read this afternoon or understand this, but under the portion of area and community plans, this is the South Greenville area plan. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So it's transitional residential, which recommends a density of 2 to 3 dwelling units per acre. Is that right?
That's correct.
And Owens Glen is proposing 2.37 units per acre. And although I've only got a diploma from Clemson, 2.37 seems to fall between 2 and 3 units per acre. So when it's interesting, this group, they love to hang a hat on the area plan when it doesn't support a subdivision. When it does, it's, gosh, it just doesn't exist any longer.
I withdraw the area plan section
Um,
of my comments.
Well, but you mentioned it incorrectly.
You're right.
And it brings up it's an attitude among many members of this commission to ignore things when they don't want to see them. Interesting, again, I don't hear a peep about affordable housing. Affordable housing isn't a $150,000 home. It could be a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 home, but this is likely going to get voted down, and there's one more strike against affordable housing in Greenville County. It's an unzoned area. The woman who spoke about her chickens and her livestock, I respect the heck out of you, but you live in an unzoned area. If you want controls, have zoning. Don't ask for a moratorium. Ask for zoning, and you know what you can do and can't do. Again, getting into the experts that have said there's what you need on roads, here's what you don't need on roads. This group's going to vote the way it wants to vote, but it seems to ignore the professional folks, the qualified folks, area plans when they don't agree with them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Phillips.
I will note that I think we erroneously, or certain times, the area plans, we look at the future land use, the density, and that's all that's looked at when there are a number of other components in area plans and all the plans, and they describe the characters of the area. It is not just the density. And when we look at just the density, it's a future possibility, assuming the infrastructure is adequate for that. I think it's biased to just look at that one item when we determine the outcome.
Good point. Ms. Manning.
I think also what has to be recognized is those roads are 15 feet 6 inches wide.
Right.
15 feet 6 inches wide.
We've already
So if we have an emergency, we have fire trucks trying to get in, I'm sorry, I don't know how people are going to be able to get out. So
Correct.
Miss
I know, I
Phillips,
agree with you.
Ms. Phillips, that's exactly, it's more than density.
Yes.
It's the entire look.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great development. It needs to be someplace else.
And I live in a zoned area, and what the lady who spoke is afraid of happened to me. So, zoned, unzoned,
All right, thank you, Commissioners. We have a motion on the floor to deny. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no.
No.
All right. 8-1, Mr. Hammond has the no. Next application. Ms. Staten, why don't we pause for a second here? Go ahead, Ms. Staten. Please be quiet so we can continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is PP 2025-202. Etna Springs Phase 2 is a cluster option 2 open space development located north of the intersection of Stallings Road and Rutherford Road. The applicant is requesting 32 lots on 15.05 acres at a density of 2.13 units per acre. Access is provided off of Stallings Road, which is a state road. This is a requested revision to the approved application for Etna Springs Phase 2. That case number was PP 2023-210. The revision is being requested in order to accommodate necessary stormwater and buffer measures found in the engineering phase. The revision was required to return to Planning Commission for review due to a change of location of lots and road layout along Cloud 9 Court. The applicant states this change was due to the location of Duke power poles on site. According to the applicant, the pole location, which cannot be changed because it would require major revisions that would affect the entire transmission line, combined with the creek buffer and sewer line easement, prevents the originally approved road and lot layout design from being feasible. This application has 6 less lots and thus a lessened density and more open space than previously shown. The original approval for Edna Springs Phase 2 is still valid, and also an active land disturbance permit case is currently open on the site as well. That case number is 2025-0091. Here is the site plan that was submitted in your packets. Let's see. The change that this revision is requesting is specific only to Phase C along Cloud9 Court. The project includes 1 main entrance, 3 internal access roads with sidewalks, a cluster mailbox area with 4 parking spaces, 20-foot screening buffers around most of the site, trails connecting existing cart paths that are proposed to remain, 3 detention ponds, and 6.12 acres of open space. Here is the site outlined in red, and here is the zoning of the site. The project site is located within the suburban neighborhood and floodplain character area of the comprehensive plan. Suburban neighborhoods are generally shaped by residential subdivisions of medium lot homes with relatively uniform housing types and densities. The recommended density in this area is 3 to 5 dwellings per acre. Etna Springs proposes 2.13 dwelling units per acre. The subject area is not a part of a community area plan. Here is the site and west of the site. And here is north of the site and south of the site. These comments are from previously from 2023, but they're included as part of the specific requirements. You can see the long comment here from land development regarding the bridge that will be required. The bridge requirements will occur at a later permitting stage, and the revised preliminary plan shows a design drivable maintenance access. From SCDOT, their previous comment was that mitigation was warranted per the TIS. All other SAC comments were addressed at the resubmittal. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions of approval are as follows. All previous conditions that haven't yet been made are to remain requirements of the preliminary plan approval. Those previous conditions are as follows. 1, traffic improvements warranted as a result of the required traffic impact study must be installed once 40 lots have been recorded. Mr. Chairman.
All righty, we'll start with the opposition again. Jan Willis. Total of 10 minutes for all speakers.
Thank you so much for hearing my comments. I was originally a resident opposed to this development.
Name and address, please.
Pardon me?
Name and address,
Oh,
please.
I'm so sorry. Jan Willis, 106 Linkside Drive, Taylors.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Since this development was approved, a group of community residents has been working per the instruction of the Planning and Development Committee of the Council to work on a zoning overlay to protect the Mountain Creek watershed, which this development sits right in the midst of. We've had numerous discussions with staff over the past year. We've learned a lot, and my comment tonight is directed into what we think is a very important point for you all to consider as you move forward tonight. And our question was to the staff, can a blue line stream in a flood zone be piped for development? The answer to that has 2 parts. One is, if the stream was originally piped before the development, then the stream can be piped again using only the same dimension pipe. If the stream is if it's never been piped and it's going to be piped for the development, then you must have a permit from the Army Corps of Engineers before the stream is piped. So that is what I want you all to consider as you move forward with thoughts about this development. And thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Gail Crawford.
I'm Gail Crawford. I live at 222 Greenview Circle and that's right off of Rutherford Road near Ingalls. I've spent the last 13 years back and forth from the Villages, Florida, to Greenville, and I kept the Greenville news going by the internet all the time. So I read about all the interesting things that happened to Pebble Creek and the entire area. And I promise you, I don't know everything, and I really don't want to know everything. But what I do want to tell you is that the space where we live, my two neighbors here, is called Lakeside Green. And what you will discover there are the elderly people who bought homes a long time ago thinking that's where it would be a forever home. Now it appears that our close to 3,000 square foot homes will be backyarded to 1,600 two-story square foot homes. That concerns us in the fact that there's only a cart path, the old Pebble Creek Park cart path, that will be the boundary. And as we spoke to the developer a few minutes ago, he's not aware that he needs to put any kind of a buffer there. And certainly if he decided that he might like to, then we would recommend cryptomeria, as we all pretty well know how big they get, and it would be wonderful. It's a sad thing for the people who are even older than I am, but more than anything, I'm not quite sure if Stallings Road is close to 3 miles. I kind of doubt it. But when you look at a 2-lane road similar to the one you just addressed, with 2 creeks, which means 2 bridges, 4 new subdivisions, either approved or in approval process, and 1 brand new one at the corner of Reed School Road and Stallings Road. And I have signed up to address that one too, but primarily my concern with that one is the traffic, so I might not have to repeat myself. The opportunity to leave our street, which is Greenview Circle, enter Stallings Road from 7:30 until 9 o'clock is slim to none. And what happens is, in fact, I didn't even read this in all of your preparation and all of your homework, that anyone addressed the perpendicular dead end of Stallings Road at 3 railroad tracks. If you have never tried to fight railroad tracks, not let alone 3 of them, one on either side of Rutherford Road, but Stallings just absolutely dead ends. I saw no indication, no information, not one thing in all of your literature. And if I missed it, then I'm sorry. I'm thinking really, really hard, especially since you give me the opportunity, and I'm so appreciative, and I appreciate you and your service. You're good people. I just know that things can be better, but for that community to be bombarded with all of this development all at one time, and I did read the legalities and the lawsuits and all the stuff that went on, and I've had discussions with the developer. So what I say to you is not anything I haven't said to him. Please know that we are serious. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate your time, and all the opportunities and properties that are in our Piedmont Park area, which I really believe that one fire department will not be able to service what's already there, let alone that many more from all these new subdivisions. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate being here. I appreciate you, and I really wish you would consider not voting in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Brenda Buchek. How much time do we have?
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Thank you. I'm Brenda Buchek, 200 Barrel Way Taylors. Good evening and thank you, Commissioners, for holding this December meeting. I think there are quite a few attendees who did not expect it. In front of you, I present a quick LDR review of the recently submitted preliminary plan for Etna Springs 2. If you glance through, you will note omission of LDR required submissions. Most of these repeat omissions also appeared on the plot approved on October 24th of 23. But there's some new things. There is a natural pond that was on the original approved plan depicted on the approved plan, and it's disappeared. I provided a copy to you of the original plan in case you didn't have it. The pond existed on the prior location prior to the developer purchase. Where's it going? I'm sure the water's got to go somewhere. By my calculation, there are about 30% of the lots that do not have direct access to the open space, and there is no, noted on the note that what I gave you, there's no access point defined on the plot plan. Currently in our county, there is a new cluster ordinance underway, which I assume would dismiss this type of misuse of the intent of the cluster ordinance. Much of the open space, as you can clearly see, is not usable. Also, I point out that once again, there is no description included of the use of the undevelopable space. Also in process is a zoning overlay to protect the Mountain Creek watershed. I gave you some pictures of flooding in the area from 2023. It's not from the hurricane. These pictures are on the very land on which this proposal sits. This is why we're trying to protect what makes this cluster totally wrong. I leave the judgment in your capable hands. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, ma'am. That's the end of the opposition. Stephanie Gates.
Good evening. Stephanie Gates, 225 Rocky Creek Road, civil engineer and surveyor for the project. After receiving approval from your board in January of 2024, I believe, we went forward with permitting and everything that goes along with permitting this project. During that process, we determined that the original design of the third road that is the only part in question here, would conflict with one of the power poles of the Duke Power easement, and within the Duke Power easement. We met with Duke on multiple occasions at this point to discuss what changing the poles would look like. And what was determined is that it would mean changing the entire, or a portion, at least a portion of the transmission line in that section, which would affect all of the neighbors and everybody here for what that transmission line would both look like and be different than what it is today. At that time, we decided to make the change of the lots to be on the other side of the road so that we could accommodate the lots and the road within the development. That is the main reason we are here. Due to those changes and other changes, we did have a reduction of lots within development, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions, or if you'd like me to address some of the things that the neighbors brought up, I can.
Why don't you go ahead and address what the opposition said first,
Okay.
before we get to our questions.
Okay. So I wrote them down very quickly as we were going through them, but the Mountain Creek zoning overlay, I understand that's underway, but as far as I know, it's still not in place yet. Is that correct? All right. So that, even if this were a completely new application, I don't believe that would be in play here. The blue line stream being piped in a floodplain, we are not piping a blue line stream in the floodplain. So that, I don't know if that answers that question. Does that answer your question for you?
Sure.
We are crossing the floodplain, but we are crossing with an arch culvert. So that is, if floodplains here can probably say that that is good. We have actually already been approved by floodplain for our land development plans. The There is a buffer where we are up against the other homes. There is a buffer. It is required. So I'm sure that was some miscommunication between the developer and that owner who spoke to that. The fire department concerns, the fire department has had a chance to look at that. We worked with the fire department on, at now 2 SACs and on the final plan set. There was something mentioned about a pond previously being depicted on the plans. That was a pond that was depicted on GIS. GIS picks up areas that they think may be ponds when they pick it up. Our wetlands delineation did not pick up a pond in that area, so we went off of what the wetlands delineation showed for that. And so we have shown the wetlands delineation that we got. And then the direct access to open space and not usable open space, there is quite a bit of open space on this, much more than is required by the Open Space 2 cluster ordinance. And to say that it is not usable open space, I think is a little bit unfair. It was a golf course. It was being used as a golf course. I think it still is a very large field that could be played on with kids. I can see this being a nice area for kids to play soccer on or whatever they might want in that big area. It'll be connected by the golf cart path. It actually connects to the other developments that they're doing along with it. So a very big open space that will be usable for the whole community. Happy to answer any other questions you have, and the developer here is here as well.
All right, any questions, commissioners?
I do.
Ms. Phillips?
The pictures we have in front of us show a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you this is not a one-time event, nor is it a once-a-year event. And it is right where homes are planned to go. Do you plan on doing infill with more dirt, changing the topography, piping? How are you going to?
We will not be doing any changes to the topography within the floodplain itself. All of the work that we have is outside of the floodplain lines, within the FEMA floodplain lines.
The FEMA floodplain lines, but they may not include the areas that retain water when it rains. There's a difference, right?
You're looking at pictures.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very large open space that does include the FEMA floodplain lines, and
correct.
those are the areas that tend to flood. Are those areas?
Am I correct, Mr. Chairman, in noting that those areas are going to be developed that we're seeing in these pictures?
I was looking at the pictures. It's hard to really discern exactly where the house is going versus where all that standing water. But I do have a lot of faith in our staff and land management and stormwater. I don't think that's an issue, and most of that is really not our purview. Staff takes care of that section or that part of it.
Can I introduce myself? I'm Inline Sergi, development of Green City.
Yeah, you're signed up, but I had more stuff for the engineers.
Okay.
He may be able to speak to this one, though, if you want.
Oh, no, I got stupid questions about power poles.
Okay. So my name is Sergi, 320 Business Parkway Greer, and I'm a developer. We already developing one site across. I'm proud of that. Nice facility. We build nice houses. You guys are more than welcome to stop by. We have the connectivity. We promise connectivity. We have that. We have 20 people during the week walking our trails, which is really nice to see the people using this. Our promise that we made, I think we're fulfilling. When we had a huge hurricane, we came out and helped out neighbors to pull the trees off of their backyards. And right now, we're looking at this second phase and the power poles. We talked to the Duke, and they said, we can do this for you, but those exchange right now, you have single pole, it has 3 transmission lines, but for them to replace it, they're going to put those huge metal towers. And I'm like, man, I don't want that stuff. So that's why we kind of we made a change. I just don't want neighbors to have the experience of changing those huge towers by their houses, and I don't want my future residents to have that stuff. We did have an issue about the pipe. There's a buried pipe on the Blue Creek, and we try to maintain that. One time there was a beavers that crossed that, they plugged that pipe, so there was a lot of flood over that. We came out, cleaned it out. Neighbors showed us pictures, sent us. I'm always communication with the neighbors. They have questions, I'm there. I'm like there a lot. And I met most of the residents, again, try to address their concerns. So when it comes to buffer zone, they mentioned, Serge, can you, can you put a fence, privacy fence in the back of us? I was like, we have a buffer that we have to do it, which is plants. And she said, I just don't want somebody to put a metal ugly fence. And I was like, we're gonna put this in a subdivision HOA, make sure we control that, what kind of fence we put in. But overall, I really enjoy building existing subdivision. You guys more than welcome to stop by. We, as I said, we did what we said. We're gonna have the connectivity, and this is really nice. The golf cart, we already placed it. People use it, and it makes me happy. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer.
Why didn't you consider the power poles from day one? I would have.
We were using GIS. We didn't know, we can guess kind of where they were, so we didn't know exactly where they were based on that. We also didn't know how the final topography based on a surveyed area would affect the power poles. It's not only where the power poles are horizontally, we also have to grade a certain amount within an area of the power poles. You'll see the little circles that are on there. Those are the areas we have to stay out of, and we're only allowed to do certain things within. We also have to pass the power easement at a 90-degree angle.
I understand.
With everything else that's required to meet the Greenville County road standards, that's where all the puzzle pieces came into play.
And you didn't walk the property. You only went by GIS.
Oh, I walked the property many times.
And you didn't see the power poles.
I saw the power poles, and they were on the original plan. The power easement was on the original plan.
Can I share it?
Yeah. go
So
ahead.
we came out, originally Power Duke said, yeah, no problem, we're gonna move them, there's no problem. Then after more investigation, they're like, oh no, those power poles have to be updated. And when updated, they wanna put those huge riggers, huge metal.
I know
structure.
towers, I understand.
Yeah, because
blah,
right
blah, blah.
now, it's just one pole, looks nice and like, kind of fits the deal.
I know, but I wondered why it wasn't considered early on, and you say Duke said it was
So
okay
it
to
was
move them?
fine until they started doing more investigation.
Any other questions for the developer or the engineer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So,
Yes.
did you see these pictures?
Yeah.
If they're the same pictures that were submitted in 2023, I've seen
Can
them.
you
Yes.
tell me where this is on your plat?
So the big green area where you see different colors of green and blue within it, that is the area of flood zone and the area that does flood in certain events.
So these pictures are part of the
Flood area.
current
Yeah.
floodplain, is that what you're
I
saying?
also, depending on when those pictures were taken and the beaver dams that he mentioned, beaver dams do cause flooding as well because they stop up the creek. And so that can cause additional flooding.
Have you relocated or addressed the beavers?
Yes. We did not address the beaver, we're just maintaining where they're building it, so we just take it out. Yeah, you can.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, Ms. Franklin. Any other questions? I mean, the one question I thought I'd get. Mr. Moore?
Have you updated your traffic studies since it was done in 2022?
The traffic study was updated at one point. I don't know the exact date that it was updated, but the improvements for the traffic study wouldn't change if we updated the traffic study. It would be the same improvements that we're already required to do.
We already placed.
The traffic study done in 2022, the information came out in September 2021, that's 4 years ago. In the study, it showed a 2 to 5% increase in flow. The data that the staff has given us shows a 30% increase in flow on Stallings Road. So I'm wondering whether or not the traffic study you have is valid for what we have now when you look at the entire subdivision, not just this piece, the entire subdivision. Some of the public has already pointed out the problems with at 7 in the morning and in the evenings. And it's a 2-lane road. It's got, as of last year, 10,300 vehicles a day on it, and you're going to add another 1,000 in another year or two. That's another 10%. The road's already overloaded. So I'm wondering whether or not the road can stand an additional 300 or 400 cars that this would represent. Thank you.
Would you like me to address that? Or?
Sure.
So that traffic study was actually done for more units than what we ended up with. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but that traffic study was actually done for far more units based on what the original plan for this subdivision was.
But you're still more than 1,000 cars.
All right. Staff, I'm a little curious, do they need to update at some point based on surrounding area and condition of roads, blah, blah, blah?
This is for a revision to an approved plan. I mean, if they decide to, for example, if they end up needing to move forward with the plan that they currently have approved, there will be 6 more lots on here, and there will not be another traffic impact study.
Okay.
So, no, they don't need it for a revision of
All
the
right.
scale.
Any
Mr.
other
Chair.
questions? Mr. Parham?
So this is for 32 units, right?
Yes.
What's the other section or the other phase? How many units were there?
The other phases are already under construction and already approved, and they are for 17 and 35. So 17, 35, and
Okay.
32.
Okay, thank you.
And we already installed the turn lanes, which dramatically kind of helped out the traffic-wise. Really enjoy. I mean, if you guys could stop by there, I think you will like what we're doing. I'm happy to show the houses in quality and how we treat our neighbors. A lot of people I talked to, they said, "Serge, we're gonna come. We have to support our community. We're just not gonna speak," because I did help individually. As I said, I moved a lot of trees, helped a lot of people. They just feel intimidated by others to come out and speak for me.
All right. Any other questions? Comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Matasevic.
could you clarify where the turn lanes are that you put in? I just, in my
So
own
there's
mind.
right across the subdivision, there's a turn lane, and about half a mile down the road, there's another turn lane already there.
Okay, that was,
And we widen the roads to whatever, they meet the requirements for
Yeah.
the turn.
Those were done as part of Atna Phase 1 and
Which is
Embury
across
Point,
Stallings.
which is
Yeah.
that a little bit up the road.
Okay.
And that's the trails that he's speaking of that actually connect all 3 of them together.
okay, I just wanted some
Yeah, so it connects
clarification.
to all of the golf courses that exist in now, so now golfers can just into the club.
I have one comment, and I realize I'm not.
Ma'am, you can't speak. I'm sorry. I have utmost respect for you,
It's already blocking the main road.
but yeah, ma'am, please be. I know.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Any other questions or comments?
May I?
Sure. Ms.
I-
Phillips?
We approved this plan prior to these changes, and with the existing conditions, and it looks like they've reduced the number of lots that they were asking in the beginning. As- I would like to recommend or make a motion that we approve this application.
All righty. Can I get a second? Mr. Hammond has a second. Any further comments? All in favor to approve, raise your hand. Well, all those against approval, raise your hand. All right. Well, that motion failed. I need a motion now to deny.
I make a motion to deny.
Mr. Parham has a motion to deny. Mr. Matasevic has the second. Any further comments?
I have a comment or two.
Oh, here we go.
Can we have a break?
Smoke them if you got them. Put your mic in front of your face, please.
So this revision was 6 less lots. There's no community overlay here. This falls well below the density in the neighborhood. There's not an updated traffic study required. The floodplains are no issue. They're within the FEMA lines. Open space is no issue. They're all accessible either by directly or by a cart path. There were questions about fire department. If we're going to get in the fire department business and the subdivision advisory committee business, then the county council needs to help us with a whole new set of bylaws. The buffers there's no piping of a blue line stream. They're reducing the lots, and we're starting to play traffic engineer again, and civil engineer again, and density engineer again, and talk about what doesn't work and what is an overloaded road or what isn't an overloaded road. I'm amazed at the number of people that must have spent a night at the Holiday Inn Express last night, and all of a sudden we're a bunch of experts up here on things we have no business being experts.
All right, Mr. Hammond, keep moving.
We're straying into bounds that we're not qualified to stray into. Staff has recommended approval of this. The subdivision advisory committee has recommended what they're going to recommend, and this group's going to deny an application that was approved previously, and this one has 6 less lots. Fascinating.
All right, Mr. Hammond. Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair.
sir. Mr. Parham.
There's a lot of talk about experts and not experts. So I'd like to offer my humble opinion that we're all appointed not because we're real estate developers or firemen, or more so because we're not those things. The staff has the ability and the responsibility to look at these things from a technical aspect. We're here to represent the people. We're appointed by elected officials. And at any time, if someone feels like they're not qualified, please recuse yourself. I, on the other hand, was appointed to serve. We don't get paid. Most of us put in lots of hours. Most of us go out to the sites. Some don't. I'm not in real estate and development. I have no axe to grind here. I'm about serving the people and the taxpayers, and it's about putting balance back in place. If it was only about doing technical things, then this body doesn't need to exist. We have discretion by law. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Parham. Don't need that. Look, I agree with him. Who made the motion to deny? You. Why?
I certainly did.
I need reasons.
Based on the reasons that we were given earlier from the Enabling Act of Section
629-1120.
Yes, thank you. Section 629-1120.
I admit, we've already approved it, has less lots. No one has brought up the mere fact that there's a cluster moratorium, thank God, so I didn't have to explain that. It really, I have to admit, this was one of those times where I have to agree with Mr. Hammond. I mean, it's 32 lots. It's not that many cars, and it has been approved previously. So, I mean, I just think we're not doing right by the guy.
It's a different planning commission, sir.
Oh, I understand. I get to spout too, a little bit. Mr. Matasevic.
I'm going to just add one other thing. Having driven around that neighborhood before, you go down Rays Creek, you go down Hunt Cliff, you go down Linkside. Even from what I can see from Stallings Road, the new house is going on the opposite side of Stallings Road. These lots are very small. They do not fit the overall vibe of most of what surrounds it. If this, now again, I know the number of lots is constrained with the topography and the creek and all that, but I think if it was a set of lots that were comparable to what exists in that neighborhood today, I think most of us would probably be okay with it. But the fact that it kind of has the shoehorn look like, and I realize this is the developer's prerogative to do, but let's see how many lots we can get on this land. It kind of has that look as opposed to something comparable to what the immediate vicinity has. So that to me would add an argument against
I would agree.
approval.
All right.
Can I just step in really quick? I'm just going to give you an idea of if you do vote to deny, for example, what you're looking at is Cloud 9 Court. This application already has a land disturbance permit in place. The original preliminary plan and this preliminary plan were done in phases due to the fact that there are stream crossings on this site. Phase A and B that you see on your screen are still approved. They're part of the land disturbance permit. They can begin grading that immediately as soon as they have their permit in hand. It is actually in review right now, but it's been approved by all reviewers at this point. So what you're looking at is just Cloud 9 Court not getting approved if you deny tonight.
And that was because of the power poles?
That's right. That's the only revision that you're looking at. Everything else still moves forward.
Very, very good
Approved.
point. Thank you, Ms. Staton.
So
Everybody understand? Mr.
no,
Holland?
I don't. So if Cloud 9 Court is the one that's affected, so that takes lot number 26 through 32 out?
That's right.
Okay, but lot 25 and 24 at the end there would stay? Is
There's
that?
a phasing line on your plan.
There is.
Everything at that phasing line would stop.
So phase 2B would continue, but phase 2C would not?
That's right.
Right.
Okay.
Good point. I'm glad you caught that. All right. Commissioners have made the motions. Do you understand that? You still okay?
Yes, affirmative.
You're okay with it? You still stand by your motions?
Yes.
All right. Understanding all that, all in favor to deny based on 629-1120, raise your hand. All those opposed? All right. The new phase is denied by 5-4. All right, let's get Georgia West. Thank you, Ms. Staton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is PP 2025-189, Georgia West. Georgia West is a proposed conventional subdivision located south of West Georgia Road, which is a state road. The applicant is requesting 9 lots on 8.6 acres for a density of 0.95 units per acre. Access is provided off of West Georgia Road. Here is a site plan that was included in your packets. The proposed subdivision includes 1 ingress-egress point with gated access, lots that meet the required 20,000 square foot minimum lot size for a conventional subdivision in the R20 zoning district, 20-foot undisturbed screening buffers around the perimeter of the site, a 50-foot creek buffer along the tributary at the rear of the site, and 1 detention pond in the common area. A mailbox CBU in common area with 2 parking spaces is also on site. Here is the site outlined in red, and here is the zoning of the site. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, where it is designated as suburban neighborhood. Suburban neighborhoods are generally shaped by residential subdivisions of medium lot homes with relatively uniform housing types and densities. The suburban neighborhood character area type recommends a density of 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre. West Georgia is proposing a density of 0.95 units per acre. Subject property is not part of a community area plan. Here is the site and north of the site, and here is east and west of the site. SAC comments that were provided from Metro. A septic request for this development was denied by Metro on August 8th, 2025. From REWA, a septic request for this development was denied by REWA on 8/18/2025. All other SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval of the plan with the following conditions and the standard and specific requirements. 1, sewer access must be obtained from Metro, or septic approval must be obtained from SCDES prior to issuance of final plat. Mr. Chairman.
All righty, thank you, Ms. Staton. Nobody signed up in opposition, and Stephanie Gates again.
Stephanie Gates, 225 Rocky Creek Road, Greenville, civil engineer and surveyor on this project. A little bit of history. You may, well, probably not, but this went for a rezoning last year sometime to an R20. At that time, and we had started the process of getting the septic approval at that time, it was clear that we weren't going to get sewer. If we had thought sewer was available at that time, we would have gone for a higher density that would have permitted sewer. There is sewer in the neighborhood behind this, which is why REWA and Metro want us to tie to the sewer, but it's not feasible. I think I might have included some information about that in your packet. It would require like a 250-foot aerial crossing, and in those people's backyards, and I just don't think that that's a feasible situation for sewer. So we've been working on that sewer for about a year.
Well, I have to admit, this note is new to me, septic not approved because public sewer is available in the area, what, a mile away, and feasible with easement acquisition, which, again, can you even get the
We've already
easement?
tried. Yeah, we part of what REWA required us to do was send letters to the neighbors to ask about easements, and we didn't get anywhere, and we got to a point that said, well, we can keep asking neighbors down the road for easements, but at some point we've got to stop and say we're going septic.
Well, but if Metro or REWA doesn't bless it, then it's dead and it.
I believe that the staff requirement was just that we needed to get SCDES permits for septic, and my one request with that would be that I don't know that we can get that prior to a plat approval, because we may have to have the plat in order to get those approvals.
And I totally agree. This is not really our purview. Where they get the sewer, I mean, this says sewer access must be obtained. She just says she's not going to be able to get it. And that shouldn't keep us from approving a preliminary plat.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Hammond?
I would agree with Chairman Bickle that we're not in the sewer or septic business sitting up here. If you want to deal with a less movable object than SCDOT, go down and knock on the REWA door.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun with that.
Well, Metro can be.
And them telling you that you've got to go obtain easements, you've got to put an aerial line in people's yard. It's like DOT telling you can't get a curb cut because
I agree.
you can't see around the corner, but DOT won't help you on getting the easements. So we don't need to consider sewer or septic here. They're not going to be able to sell homes without sewer or septic anyway. That's y'all's deal. So that does not to be a consideration of this commission.
Well, we agreed twice in a row.
Mr. Chairman, I have
Christmas, yes.
I have a question for Ms. Staton.
Ms. Phillips?
Final plat. The final plat is not necessarily submitted until the lots have been under construction. Is that not correct?
No, the final plat is submitted. Well, it depends on what you mean by construction. You're not meaning the structures. You mean the actual
Lot.
like the lot. Yeah. So you have like all of the.
Once the roads, the drainage, and everything is put in,
That's
that
all
is
put
considered
in
the final plat.
first, and
Yeah.
then you go to final plat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So final plat is towards the end.
That's right. Well, it's what you do just before you want to cut lots and then be able to get a
Get
building
permits.
permit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's prior to permitting.
Okay, so it's
Each
prior to
lot.
constructing the homes.
That's
Yes.
right.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have
Thank
a
you.
question. So,
But she's not finished.
I'm sorry. I thought she was.
Are you finished? All right, Mr. Allen.
So they would have to go to the expense of doing all this, and then a final plat, they would have to either have sewer or septic approved.
No, it's one or
Is
the
that-
other.
Well, right, but they would have to go through the process of all the other that you were just speaking to. And
I
they
mean-
still may not get septic.
You would get an approval letter of some sort from
Somebody.
DES, is my understanding. And to be quite honest, the staff recommendation is to speak to REWA's comment, because REWA is a member of our SAC. We cannot, ignore that they did make the comment. So staff's recommendation with this condition is to show that staff understands that REWA is a part of our SAC, and we have to include their statement in our condition of approval.
I understand that, but again, the cost to run sewer 250 feet? Is that what you said?
That's just the aerial crossing, yeah.
Aerial
but
crossing.
Yeah, that's not the whole
All right,
line.
So,
For 9 lots.
for 9 lot, and so they may not get approval for septic, but they've gone to the cost of.
Not our problem.
Well, you're right, it's not, but
Mr. Chair.
I'd like to make a motion to approve at this point right now and move on
Without staff's condition.
without staff's conditions.
All right, Mr. Hammond. Mr. Parham, go ahead.
I'm good.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a motion from Ms. Manning, a second from Mr. Hammond to approve this application without staff's recommendation. Any further comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, it's approved 9-0.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, this is PP 2025-193, Nova Residence. Nova Residence is a proposed conventional subdivision located west of the intersection of Agnew Road, which is a state road, and West Blue Ridge Drive, which is also a state road. The applicant is requesting 45 lots on 12.6 acres for a density of 3.57 units per acre. Access is provided off of Agnew Road. Here is the site plan that was submitted in the packet. The proposed subdivision includes one egress point, lots that meet the required 6,000 square feet for a conventional subdivision in the R6 zoning district, 20-foot undisturbed screening buffers around the perimeter of the site, one detention pond in common area, and a mailbox CBU in common area. This will also consist of 4 public roads. Here is the site outlined in red, and here is the zoning of the site. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, where it is designated traditional neighborhood. Traditional neighborhoods are characterized primarily by early and mid-20th century single-family homes with some blocks including small-scale apartment buildings and attached townhomes. The traditional neighborhood character area type recommends a density of 6 to 20 dwelling units per acre. Nova Residence is proposing a density of 3.57 units per acre. The subject property is not a part of a community or area plan. Here is the site and north of the site, and here is east and west of the site. All SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period, and staff recommends approval of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, in opposition, Robert Darnell. Dorothy Darnell. She signed your name, sir.
I printed it. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right. This says Agnew Road and 253.
Agnew Road and West Blue Ridge Drive.
That's not the address that.
Oh, you signed up for Nova.
But it's Agnew Road and Richard Avenue. It does not go to 253.
That was just like a close by, like, location. I think.
Oh. What
It's
says
not-
Richard?
it's-
It says
it's-
Richards and Agnew on here. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
All right. I think you're in the right place.
Okay. We have been on Richards Avenue for 53 years. This area has boomed from Walmart customers use Marion Road, Richards Avenue to Agnew Road. The traffic on this little small street, there's not enough room for 2 cars to pass unless you go off the edge of the road. There are springs, underground springs that run under Richards Avenue over into this, I believe it's 12.6 acres. That I was told they were wanting to build 45 homes. Across the creek, they've already built 2 big, well, they got the road and stuff for another apartment complex. Behind it, they've already built a great big one, and all the trees are gone except for from Richards Avenue to 253. That's our only buffer. From they've already taken from all the way to Walworth Road. All those are gone. They're going to build a school on Agnew Road, a small road, which is a state road, and Agnew Road is in Marion. But they're small roads. And I just don't think that they'll take the traffic. And the poor deer have nowhere to go. They're getting run over. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That's our only person, except Mr. Hovey, signed up in opposition. Jonathan Nutt. I'm sorry. I'm already tired.
Jonathan Nett, 935 Tanner Road, Greenville, South Carolina, 29607, Celeste Engineering. I'm the engineer that will be working on this project. I've been working on this project for about a year. We went through rezoning about a year ago. The original zoning prior to that rezoning was for manufactured homes. So there could have been up to over 100 rental mobile homes. We tried to rezone it to RM8. This commission recommended approval, but we decided to pull that because council didn't seem like there was support for townhomes. That would have been 90 townhomes. We pulled that, we resubmitted for R6, got that approved. And so this is a plan we submitted with 6,000 square foot lots, which we feel like is compliant with the lots next door. We will go through the South Carolina DOT process to get an encroachment permit. That's a very difficult process. That's probably one of the most difficult permits to get these days. So this is just a step in that process. So I'm happy to try to answer any questions you all might have.
Agnew Road, State Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't know what the LOS of that is, do you?
I don't.
Smells like D. What? What? I'm sorry. Where can we pull these out of? Any questions for the engineer other than that? Sorry. Well, how wide is Ridge?
This is a cluster development, is that correct?
No.
Ma'am. I want
It's
to make
not.
clear, this is not a cluster, not open
I just
space.
want to make sure.
Conventional.
Thank you.
It's a bad word.
Yeah, really. What's the width of Richards Avenue?
You can ask me that. We'll get
Sorry.
that verified. I believe it's 20 feet, but
Okay.
don't hold me to that. We'll go through the detailed process with South Carolina DOT.
All righty. Well, now you want to speak. No, don't do that.
And the residents, if I could address the residents who live on Richards Avenue, those two connections we show are emergency access only. So we would have a Knox box with a chain to prevent traffic to going on Richards Avenue.
Good
And we
point.
would work with the developer to do as much screening as possible. We do have a sewer main that's going to connect to Richards Avenue, but where we can screen it, we'll definitely do as much as we possibly can.
All righty. Any other questions, comments, other than mine? Mr. Matasevic.
Question for staff. On the photos that were included in our packet, the east and west photos, is that Agnew Road in those photos? The other two?
Oh, the other two? These ones?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe they are, yes.
Well, they got white lines. They're a step up from most. So,
So the one west of site, is that the corner then of Richards and Agnew? I mean, that seems like it would make sense from the map, so, okay, thank you.
can I get a motion? All right, Ms. Franklin has a motion to approve. The comments?
I don't know exactly why. I think it's just that one that got. Okay, it's just that one.
Pine Creek, Ridgeway, Milford.
I got it, y'all. My notes got transposed onto the wrong thing, but I know the stuff. All right. This application is at Ridgeway Drive and Milford Lane, which is in the county. It is 9 lots, and go to the next slide. All right, here is the site plan that is included in the packet. Let's see. The proposed subdivision includes 9 lots, including an individual driveway access for each lot. Lots that meet the required 12,000 square feet for a conventional subdivision in the R12 zoning district. 20-foot undisturbed screening buffer adjacent to residential lots that are already in place. 1 detention pond in common area and a mailbox CBU also in the common area with 1 parking space. Here is the site outlined in red. And here is the zoning for the site. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan where it is designated suburban neighborhood. The suburban neighborhood character area type recommends a density of 3 to 5 dwelling units per acre. Piney Bluff is proposing a density of 3 units per acre. The subject property is not a part of an area or community plan. Here is the site, and east of the site, and here is north and south of the site. SAC comments that were provided at the meeting from subdivision administration. There is a 20-foot side setback along Pine Creek Drive that will need to be shown on lot 5. All other SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions of approval are as follows. 1, provide a revised preliminary plan by January 7th, 2026 that shows a 20-foot side setback along Pine Creek Drive on lot 5. Mr. Chairman.
All righty, we have a couple people signed up in opposition, and he is already in place, ready to go. Mr. Paxton, give us your name and address,
I
please,
hope
sir.
I can hold out because this is getting to be a lengthy session.
Well, all of us old people up here think the same thing.
Thank you. I'm Ed Paxton. My mailing address is 1 York Circle. My home is within a 1/4 mile of this proposed subdivision. I've lived within that provision, within that perimeter for well over 60 years. In fact, 60 years ago, the Air Force was still here. I've raised a family at that location and paid taxes to Greenville County, and we didn't have a county council in them days. And I've got an 8-year honorable discharge from the Navy and a degree in engineering. And the first development job I did part of was Blue Ridge Parkway. My first engineering job here in Greenville was to sign off for the Greenville Tech development. Folks, well, enough of that. Folks, the proposed dividing of this 3-acre tract into a place for 9 houses is a gross mistake. The site is on the side of the hill, which drops well over 100 feet. That site is really big enough for about 3 or 4 or 5 houses. And the tragedy of it is, when we develop that thing and put runoff characteristics, it will flood the St. John's United Methodist Church, which is at the foot of the hill. The site is the worst I can think of within 5 miles of Pine Creek Drive, unless you want to build houses down on property owned by the REWA. In short, this attempt at 9 houses on the side of that 100-foot high hill is silly as trying to put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. I urge you to deny this petition to subdivide into 9 sites and permit a maximum of 6 houses on the property, leaving one corner of it for a future parking area for the church and the other corner as a flash pond for runoff. And if you haven't seen runoff from one of our frog stranglers we have here in the summertime, on a 20% grade, you haven't lived. 4 houses on 3 acres with a stormwater stilling basin and an open space for automobile parking across from St. John's will be an asset to the Woodfields community. This is really not a subdivision. This tract of land exists within the Woodfields community. It's got a name which you people have hung on it, which is pretty meaninglessly. We've got too much good land in South Carolina to build houses this close together on the side of a hill that's got a 20% grade on it. And I ask you to reject this 9-house proposed development as a subdivision. And we will talk in terms of negotiating a 6-house development.
Thank you, sir. Michael Thurman. Name and address, please, sir.
Good evening. My name is Michael Thurman. I live at 307 Fairmont Drive, Greenville, South Carolina, 29605. St. John Methodist Church and Christ Mission Outreach Church, 2 churches in one location. I agree with Mr. Ed Paxson asking that could you donate some land to St. John Methodist Church for a parking deck. I noticed as the senior pastor of Christ Mission, also in St. John building, that it's hard for me to worship knowing that people are parking on Ridgeway, walking down that hill, blocking that road off to a 1-lane traffic, and you have a blind spot on Crestfield, on Pine Creek, 75 feet north and south, and parking on it, creating 1 lane, is dangerous for pedestrians coming to church and people walking. There's no sidewalk there. So we asking that if you could donate some land that we can have a parking deck, because all hurt diminishes me as a preacher. I don't want to see nobody hurt and suffering and pain. And it's hard to worship knowing the conditions of how they are parking outside. So I hope and pray that you take that under consideration. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, that's it for opposition. Stephanie Gates, well, you get to bill a bunch tonight.
This one actually is not mine. I'm just here filling in for Jessica Chapman, who was not able to make it. But Stephanie Gates, 225 Rocky Creek Road, representing the civil engineer here. This is a GCRA site. They are looking to do 9 lots on here. We do have a detention pond that will address the stormwater concerns per Greenville County requirements. And someone from GCRA is here as well if you would like to speak with the developer.
That's funny. I'm sorry. Any questions for the engineer? Or does anybody want to speak to the developer?
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Phillips?
I just wanted to clarify. So the shapes I see on the lots and there's a couple places it was a little questionable. And the vertical lines, those are the driveways and where the existing structures are planned.
Where the proposed structures will be with those would represent the new homes.
Okay. Does this plat, how much does it hold them to those locations with this
Nothing.
plat?
It's not-
Nothing.
it's not-
It's just,
Not our purview. They stuck them
Okay.
in there just to show.
okay. So we're looking at the lots, not necessarily the homes. But it looks like they have located the structures in an area on the lot that looks like, to me, unlike some other neighborhoods, they're going to have some yard space.
Yeah,
Or smaller
there is-
homes?
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned that there's fall across the site. There's no doubt about this
Mhm.
site has some fall across it. So one of the reasons that why the engineer who was working on this, wanted to look at the feasibility of getting those homes on the lots as part of the process of subdividing and where the lot lines would be.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Pictorial. They're called basement lots. Any other questions for the engineer? Would the owner be willing to donate that other corner lot?
I will let the developer speak to that.
Okay. What the heck? I gotta ask. It's definitely not our purview.
That would be above my pay grade, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought that. Who are you? What are you?
Greenville County Redevelopment, I'm the project manager for the site.
Are you Thomas Chesney?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's your address?
138 Stewart Road, Fountain Inn, South Carolina.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So you can't give away land?
I can't give away land, no,
All right.
sir, and it is being donated to us, so that would be from the county. But
And-
this would be non-single family, affordable, 80% AMI income houses.
Sure.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Any questions for the developer?
Who is the developer?
GCRA, I guess.
Government is the developer. You're paying taxes.
You had your chance, Mr. Paxton. Any questions or motion?
Mr.
Move this
Chairman,
on?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application.
Thank you. Mr. Hammond, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Phillips has a second. Mr. Hammond made a motion to approve. Ms. Phillips has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no.
No.
Mr. Parham has the no. All right. I'd like a 5-minute recess. Don't use that term.
All right, 5 minutes. I get to slam the gavel down at 6:15.
I'd like that name, please. Levi Chesney.
Recording stopped.
Oh, my God.
They're not paying us enough to know.
Actually, the whole thing was already approved. This was had surgery last night. I don't know all the details. It just looks crazy. I mean, the box flat, nice. And then. I saw the plans. I'm an engineer, so I'm aware of the challenges that they're going to be up against, but it's not my plan, so I actually. They have a plan.
Apparently they got several calls.
The money was donated back from the Woodfield community for preservation of the, because that was the Woodfield's playground.
I'm not sure.
Park. And then they tore it down. They accepted the money and
Best bet to that fence, the little fence right next to the church.
I didn't know you got it. I was somewhere in the restroom.
I seriously doubt that, but I haven't gotten a call from them, so. I mean, there's no way.
Draper, we got everybody but Megan, so you're going to jump in here. We have faith.
I'm good. Don't worry about it. June, don't worry about it. I'll be good.
Mr. Kern, no, he can have this one because it hasn't been. Oh, neither does this one.
I'd be afraid of something drinking all that water. All right, we're all here, but we don't have subdivision. I saw her get on the elevator, and I said, "Don't do that." Yeah, she made a dash. Well, we're doing better than I thought we're doing. Well, I still think you ought to jump in there. It's up to you.
There she is.
Ooh. Everybody clap. The
Recording
Haven.
in progress.
Oh my God. No, it's the Haven. It's Sandy Springs. We just did mine. All right.
All right, this is PP 2025-197, The Haven at Sandy Springs. The Haven at Sandy Springs is a proposed conventional subdivision located east of West Georgia Road and Highway 25. The applicant is requesting 8 lots on 13.1 acres for a density of 0.61 units per acre. Access is provided off of West Georgia Road and Sandy Springs Road. Here is the site plan that was submitted in your packets. The proposed subdivision includes 1 ingress-egress point, lots that meet the 1 acre conventional subdivision for the R1 zoning district, 20-foot undisturbed screening buffers around the perimeter of the site, 1 detention area and common area, and mailbox CBU located in cul-de-sac. Actually, I think this is not the plan that is in your packet. I think you have a future development shown. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the plan that was originally submitted. We did have a shortened period of time to get these together, and I had some extra help from some staff members that aren't as accustomed to doing the PowerPoint. So I do apologize. It is the one that is in your packet, not what is shown on the screen. Here is the site outlined in red. And here is the zoning of the site. Rural living is the type of character area that is shown here. These place types are transitional areas that offer opportunities for low intensity development that is well integrated with the natural landscape and agricultural uses. The rural living character area type recommends a density of 1 dwelling per 2+ acres. The Haven at Sandy Springs is proposing a density of 0.61 units per acre. The subject property is also a part of the South Greenville Area Plan, where it is designated as rural preservation. The rural preservation area type recommends a density of 0 to 0.3 units per acre. The Haven at Sandy Springs is proposing a density of 0.61 units per acre. Here is the site and the area north of the site.
Am I looking at the wrong plat?
I'm sorry.
No, it isn't.
Okay. I'm just, as you're stating the density, it looks like it's,
No, I got it. That's my first question to her. If it's
I'm sorry, I
R1,
didn't
how
mean
do
to
you get
interrupt you.
0.61 units per acre?
Less than 1 unit per acre.
Oh, I know. I just thought it'd be closer to 1 since it's R1. So,
okay.
keep going. We're on the same page.
Here is east of the site and west of the site. SAC comments that were provided at the SAC meeting from Metro. A septic request has been approved by Metro. From Greenville County Roads and Bridges, all lots must have internal access. The lots that were originally labeled 1 through 3 were removed, and this area was replaced with future development. From Greenville County Land Development, this entire 14-acre parcel is part of a larger common plan that is defined by EPA. Therefore, stormwater management must be provided for the entire parcel. Dividing out the 3 residential lots is prohibited by the LDR, as all lots must provide internal access. Again, these lots that were originally labeled 1 through 3 were removed, and this area was replaced with the labeling future development. All other SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions of approval are as follows. 1, provide a revised preliminary plan by January 7th, 2026 that includes the following revisions. 1, provide a note on the plans that internal access and planning commission approval will be required for any future development that is part of the overall parent parcel. 2, show the minimum lot widths for all lots at the required 75 feet lot width. 3, provide the 20-foot undisturbed buffer along the rear of lots 2 and 3. And 4, update the site data table to reflect 8 lots as is currently shown on the plan. Mr. Chairman.
All righty. Nobody signed up in opposition. And again, Stephanie Gates. I only see 8 lots in the table. No, she said change it to 8. There's 8. All right, go ahead.
I think her note was to update maybe the table says 11.
No, my table
One
says
of the
8.
tables does say, the site data table shows
Okay.
a different number.
Yeah, so we originally submitted it with those 3 lots, and we had submitted a variance. There was an error, and the variance didn't get in. Regardless, the developer wanted to move forward with the road, and I think we have the understanding that the 3 lots will require us to come back to this board. We are interested in doing the road first anyways, so.
Okay.
I am here to answer any questions. This is a traditional RR1 with 1-acre lots.
Ms. Manning.
What are going to be the size of the homes?
That will be a developer question, and I can bring him up here, so if you want to get the technical
Just kind of
questions
curious.
out.
It's not our purview.
I understand, but
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious.
Well, let's finish with her. Any questions for the engineer? I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Ms. Franklin.
So you're anticipating coming back to request the additional 3 lots? Is that what you're saying?
At some point in the future, and we don't know when that future would be. It would have been before you guys had that variance, not had a technical error within the county system.
All righty.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Parham?
so how would you intend on accessing those 3 lots at some point in the future?
There's a
Is it
road there.
Separate subdivision?
There's a road there, and it would be a separate subdivision per the note that subdivision administration is requesting us to have. There is an existing road.
It's on the corner lot.
It's on a corner lot with
West Georgia Road.
2 existing frontages.
I see what you mean. Okay, thank you.
Sandy Springs Road, West Georgia Road. It's corner lot.
Say it one more time.
No. Worn out of here. Any other questions for her? Michael Fernandez, I assume, is the developer. You got anything to add to our nonsense?
No. Michael Fernandez, 401 Ripper Creek Drive, Greenville, South
Thank you.
Carolina, the developer. If we want to approve all 11 today, that'd be fantastic. But my intention is 3 additional single-family lots.
Do you want to ask him?
Yeah, what's the size of the homes?
Undecided right now. I'm doing one down the road that is a little bit larger. They're on 5-acre parcels, and it will not be even close to that. Those are 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. This will be probably 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. But I don't want to say one way or the other. I'm undecided on that.
Any other questions for the engineer or developer or a motion?
I have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, Ms. Manning has a motion to approve. Ms. Phillips has a second. Any further comment? Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. 9-0. Well, you can go now.
All right, this is PP 2025-198 Rock Springs. Rock Springs is a proposed conventional subdivision located adjacent to the intersection of Stallings Road, which is a state road, and Reed School Road, also a state road. The applicant is requesting 13 lots on 11.42 acres for a density of 1.14 units per acre. Access is provided off Stallings Road, which is a state road. The site is split zoned with 7 units in the 6.47 acre R12 zone portion for a density of 1.08 units per acre within this area, and 7 units. It gets counted twice because there's a line through it in the 4.95 acre RM20 zone portion for a density of 1.41 units per acre in this area. Both areas of the site are proposed to meet the density requirements for their respective zoning districts. There have been several applications for development at this site, both under the name Rock Springs and Patriot Place Taylors, with the most recent having come before Planning Commission on June 25th, 2025 as Rock Springs, case number PP 2025-075, as a proposed cluster option 1 subdivision with a proposed 21 lots and a density of 1.83 units per acre. Here is the site plan that was included in your packet. The project includes 1 egress point, 3 internal roads, 1 cluster mailbox area in the cul-de-sac with a pet waste station, 20-foot undisturbed screening buffers around the perimeter of the site, 50-foot riparian buffers, 2 detention ponds, and 0.31 linear miles of new public road. Here is the site outlined in red, and here is the zoning of the site. The subject site is part of the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan where it is designated Suburban Edge. Suburban edges are low-density residential areas that offer opportunities for low-intensity development that is well integrated with the area. Suburban edge character area types recommend a density of 0 to 1 dwellings per acre. Rock Springs is proposing a density of 1.14 units per acre. The subject property is not a part of an area or community plan. Here is the site and north of the site. Here is east of the site and west of the site. All SAC comments were addressed during the resubmittal period. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the plan with the standard and specific requirements. The conditions for approval are as follows. 1, meet any SCDOT requirements. If changes are required by SCDOT, provide a revised preliminary plan with these changes shown. Mr. Chairman.
All right, I just realized that last subdivision, we didn't have all the conditions in with the motion. I'd like to resolve that. Who made that motion? No, whoever made the motion of the Haven at Sandy Springs. Are you okay with all staff's conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to, for the record. we approve the subdivision along with all the staff's conditions. Well, Ms. Franklin, you okay with that too? Okay, we're good. I'm sorry, it's my fault. We should have covered it. Thank you, staff. Oh, we got two people in opposition. Benita Merkel.
My name is Benita Merkel, and I live at 307 Silverland Lane, Taylors, in the Oak Branch Estates subdivision. And Mr. Jason Greer of 9 Monarch Place from Wedgwood, on the other side of this proposed subdivision, was not able to be here tonight, but I brought some comments from him as well. So tonight I've heard about the Enabling Act, I've read a couple of times. I've heard about traffic from you. I've heard about density from you. And all these subdivisions in front of me have all exclaimed the same things over and over again. We're dealing with traffic, we're dealing with overpopulation, and those are concerns. But if it would be okay, I'd like to bring a couple of technical issues that I've noticed about this plat. So I didn't provide any photos for you, but hopefully you've got this thing in front of you, and I think I might even have it memorized. No, not quite. But in the SAC meeting, the LDD division noted, number 1, ensure that drainage from the adjacent subdivision detention pond on the eastern border, that's us, that's Oak Branch, will not negatively affect future residents. That detention pond has 2 exits from it, and none of that has been addressed on this new plan. One of them is an outlet pipe from the principal spillway, and the other one is a riprap lined earthen channel for the emergency spillway. Neither one of those have been addressed on this new plan, according to the notes that they noted there, but they're not addressing it. There's no way they can provide that drainage from our detention pond in Oak Branch without disturbing the riparian barrier. In addition, the proposed easement that they have on the plan, I wish I had a laser pointer right now, that would also disturb the 20-foot riparian barrier between Oak Branch and Rock Springs. So I ask that you deny Rock Springs on the basis of LDR 821. We've got the 20-foot barrier that has to be maintained. Also, the SAC notes number 2, they're not addressed on here, they're not listed on the new plan, or I'll call it a revised plat or resubmitted plat after the SAC. But it does appear they've made some attempt to protect the riparian barrier. So they've decreased those lots. It was 1 to 6, and now it's 1 to 5, pulling back some of those lots off of that riparian barrier. But Greenville County has a lovely riparian barrier manual, and it's supposed to be maintained and upheld by you all. And I can't imagine that they can uphold the manual without, as it says, no disturbance. The existing vegetation shall not be cleared or disturbed, grading, stripping of topsoil, plowing, cultivating, filling, or storing materials and machining are prohibited within the buffer. But if you'll look at that plat and to see how close those lines, those property lines are coming to that riparian barrier. And never mind that the riparian barrier is trying to protect some preserved, delineated wetlands. Finally, the Rock Springs, not finally, but let me go on for a little bit. I think I've got a little more time. Rock Springs Drive has been significantly decreased, shortened in length from the previous denial, so the June denial. And it could pose significant hazards. It is exiting to a state road. We've already heard all the discussion about Stallings and the traffic, and more traffic, and from Etna Springs and Invari Place, and the lady that lived near the railroad tracks and all of that. So that's going to be a difficult thing. It is a blind curve coming out of Wedgwood Place, which is on the western border of the plat. Coming out onto Stallings, there's a blind curve. There doesn't seem to be any room, and I'm not South Carolina DOT, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be any room for some kind of a left turn lane, another left-hand turn lane. And with the short distance that Springs Drive is, Rock Springs Drive is currently, I don't see how lawn care can get in there, trucks delivering. very short. Mr. Greer asked that I also mention a couple things from the Wedgwood standpoint. And really, in all truth, there'll be more damage incurred on their subdivision than on ours. Ours is well established. Our developer, which we've been around for 3 years, he even looked at this property. He said, it's undevelopable. And so the topography that would be disturbed from this kind of a development and the erosion that would occur would come right down onto Wedgwood Place. As far as the creek, the Blue Line stream, it is noted to be part of the Enoree watershed. That was noted in the SAC meeting. And there is E. coli issues, and the testing would be done, and I'm not sure I can understand all of that, but I certainly can read the words. But that creek flows right through Mr. Greer's property, and he would have to get an easement from the developer. So we talked about the traffic and the egress, we've talked about the erosion, we've talked about the creek, we've talked about the drainage from the detention pond that was cited by your own SAC. And so the two other denials on your part were because of topography and the fact that that land is not developable, and I don't think it's any more developable than it was a few months ago. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. How much time we got?
3 minutes, 56 seconds.
All right, 4 minutes, Ms. Crawford. She left, didn't she? We got her all upset. All right, well, those are the only two to speak in opposition. Austin Allen. In favor.
Good evening. Austin Allen, Arbor Land Design, 49 Greenland Drive, Greenville 29615. Staff stated this project has been before most of you at least once, some of you twice. Both of those were submitted as cluster applications. We are coming back in front of you with a conventional subdivision. We have drastically reduced the lots, near half, which has also drastically impacted the impact that this project will have on the existing infrastructure. That being said, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have and address any concerns or questions that arose from the opposition.
Anybody got any questions? Mr. Moore.
Looking at the topography, it looks like the drainage is from the east side heading south from the adjacent property. How do you intend to handle the runoff from that property? Because it looks like it's going to come right up against your barrier.
So we'll have to work with land development staff to meet any and all regulations. We'll have to capture and retain all that stormwater. We've got to produce all and implement all of the sediment and erosion control measures. We are liable if we create any downstream issues. So in addition to the state and federal regulations that we have to adhere to, our tails are on the line as well, for lack of better terms.
Well, I guess I'm thinking more in terms of after it's built and you're gone, it looks like your buffer comes right up against the property line. How do you prevent the soils on the other side of the property from washing away because it can't get across your buffer?
Well, I mean, for the most part, it's not running across the buffer anyway, but again, we'll have to capture any and all stormwater and put it through that pond. So it's through a controlled device, through one point, and those two outlet structures and outlet pipes that are indicated on both of those ponds are both pointing to where the water is currently going. So we would capture that water and slowly release that water at the same rate or less than it currently does now to the same place that it currently does now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Being preliminary plans, stormwater is typically not in our purview, and okay, all right. Just have a lot of faith in land development. They'll take care of it all, and if they don't, the new DHEC will show up. Believe me. Is it DES? Well, I got one quick question. That Oak Creek Drive is way over 1,000 foot. You need some traffic calming there.
we'll work with staff and make sure we provide the
You've
best
got,
option we
yeah,
can.
you got a racetrack, what you got there. Need to add that as a condition, please, ma'am.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Farm?
just a few comments. I know that, you know, everybody says this group or that group will take care of things as far as drainage. I've seen multiple times, I've had same experience myself where you used to have a lot more woods and open land around you, and water drains downhill, right? Always, forever, I imagine. What I've seen in the last 10 years with all the growth is even when these stormwater catchment basins are there, what ends up happening is the water just gets channelized and everybody downstream catches all that. I know numerous people that have been in homes for 20 or 30 years that never had problems underneath their house, and now they're having, some homes are 10 years old, some are 20 years old, some are 30 years old. They're having to put in sump pumps because the water table's coming up because they live downhill, so to speak, and everybody's having problems in a couple of these neighborhoods I know of. So ultimately, the subdivision gets built, and then somebody's got to deal with the problem downstream is what ends up happening. Thanks.
You can respond, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, if there was, there's probably a lot of variables that go into that. You know, if there was a specific example, I'd be happy to talk through that with you, but.
They have really cracked down. I mean, the state has come down hard on staff and stuff. So, I mean, they're, I can show you my 100-year pond that I shouldn't have had to build. That's another subject. Any other questions? Oh, Mr. Matasevic.
Staff, could you put the plat diagram back up on the screen, please?
Yes, and I have to say before you say anything about this plat, same issue as the last one. This is the initial submittal. What you have in your packets is the accurate plat.
Okay, well, that basically answers my question because I do see there's some minor discrepancies.
Yeah.
Oh, I see him now. Okay. Lost a lot.
Thank you.
All righty. Anything else? Motion? So I can go home? Not everybody speak at once? Would you add that condition for the traffic calming on Oak Creek Drive, please?
I will, as a Christmas present to the chairman, I will add.
I'd rather have bourbon, but that's okay. Mr. Hammond made a motion to
I'll second.
approve with all of staff's conditions, finally remember that, along with some traffic calming on that long Oak Creek Drive. Mr. Holland has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Oh, crap. Where are we going with this?
I'm going to abstain from voting on this application.
All right, we're going to start over. Motion to approve. Raise your hand. Jeez. Motion, and, okay. For a denial, we need a reverse motion and a reason.
Mr. Chairman?
We denied this with cluster. They have the zoning. They've done everything the right way. I sound like Frank now. Mr. Matasevic.
I will make the motion to deny. My reason is it still has the look of we tried to cram as many lots as we could without breaking the rules. And I don't know that that is in good conformity with the neighborhood. I don't know that it's in good conformity with the environment.
Well, if you could reference an LDR section or a zoning ordinance or even a state statute, I would appreciate it. We can't just say because we don't like the looks of it.
I do not have the details of that in my possession, so I will defer. Or I'll take this from this guy.
Have we gone through this before?
Oh.
Somebody made a motion and they couldn't decide what they were making the motion for.
Well, I mean,
Sorry, I was not anticipating the chairman's question.
no, legal has told me we need specific reasons
No,
why.
If somebody makes the motion, they should be prepared to define.
Well, I gave them, Mr. Hammond, I'm giving him a chance to rectify it.
Section 6-29-1120, which has been cited already tonight, the public health, safety, economy, good order, appearance, convenience, morals, and general welfare require the harmonious, orderly, and progressive development of land. I don't know that this is harmonious and progressive.
It's the same zoning as the surrounding lots. I mean, cluster, I mean, I understand the cluster, but I have to admit, this is a little odd to me, but if you want to make, Mr. Matasevic's made a motion to deny based on 6/29/1120.
I second.
And Mr. Parham's got the second. Any further discussion? All in favor to deny based on those facts, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All those opposed, raise your hand. Oh, gosh.
So point of order, we have a tie, so it's a failure.
No, Ms. Phillips abstained. Robert's rule says an abstention is a no vote. And I hate to say it, this has been, well, no, you made, so that's an abstain, you made a no vote for the denial. So now we got to go back the other way. Are you gonna abstain that way too? We're gonna be here 4-4.
But point of order, the first vote was for approval, and it was 4-4, but if she abstained and Robert's rules say abstention is a no vote, then it was really.
It was 5-4.
It was 5-4 for disapproval.
For disapproval. So then I needed a motion, yes, I did. I needed another second motion for the denial.
What you got?
Right. And now she's abstaining again, so the motion fails because it's 5-4. So now I need a
So now
motion
we're
to
in the
approve
other-
again.
Now we're in the other way?
Yes, we're in the other way, Mr. Hammond.
But if she abstained, that's a no vote. But you're saying no to the no now? She's saying no to the denial.
Yes.
By abstaining. So
But she abstained.
she abstained for the approval and she abstained for the denial.
Right, which means both times it failed. So now I need one for approval. Can we try that?
Motion to approve with conditions.
With staff's conditions and the condition of the traffic calming on that road.
And I second.
All right, Mr. Holland's got the second. Any further discussion? All in favor to approve, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All those against, raise your hand. All right, thank you, Ms. Phillips. We're going to have to get a denial motion again. The approval motion failed. I need a denial version.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion. Mr. Matasevich.
I resubmit my denial.
All right.
Motion.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Mr. Matasevich made a motion to deny based on 6/29/1120. Mr. Parham's got the second. Any further discussion? All in favor to deny, raise your hand. All those opposed, raise your hand. All righty. It is denied 5-4. All right, variance.
I was confused.
This is VA 2025-195, 7702A Augusta Road, LDR 8.7 front setback variance. The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirements of LDR 8.7, which requires a 50-foot front setback along an arterial road. The applicant states that the existing building is within the 50-foot front setback. Here is the site plan that shows the location of the building on site. And here is the site outlined in red. The site is unzoned as shown here on your screen. Here is the site and east of the site. Here is south of the site and north of the site. From Subdivision Administration at SAC, please provide a site plan for the location of the building and setback. A site plan was provided as was shown previously. Staff recommends approval of the variance as requested. Mr. Chairman.
All right, nobody signed up in opposition. And John Austin, speaking in favor. Name and address, please, sir.
John Austin, 308 McCarter Avenue, Greenville. I won't take much time. The owner bought the property. He owns a nearby business. He just wanted to get the property cleaned up. Local shed dealer is looking at leasing it. We're just trying to use the building as a sales office. The building permits require a variance.
We're talking about, what, a foot? Based on what I can read on this drawing?
I think it's a little more than that. Originally, before
Oh.
the road was expanded, it met all the setbacks, but of course now.
I'm sorry, it's 36.3, okay. That shed tenant was mine at 6,000 Augusta Road. Any questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Ms. Franklin?
You're saying the owner wants to use the building as a sales office.
Mm-hmm.
Will they continue to have the items that they're selling on the property? I think now there's cars out there.
Well, the cars have been removed. That was a neighbor using the property for cars. The sheds have actually been relocated there. They're not selling, they don't have a sales office yet.
You see the picture up top there?
But the sheds are being stored there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Moore,
Question.
sorry.
You mentioned the sheds. I used to live in the area, and I was out there last weekend. Is there a limit on how close the sheds can be to the road? Because they're awfully close to the road right now.
I'm not sure what the requirements are.
Probably
Again, they're
50
just.
foot.
Because they got sheds all the way around the building. And they're, I would guess, less than 20 feet off the edge of the road.
We have not, as far as I know, they have not received anything from the county about that at this point.
County, do you know?
It would be my understanding that they do need to meet the setback requirement.
Okay, well,
Whatever's
those
agreed
are-
upon, if you do choose to vote to allow a variance.
Yeah, you're right in the picture. They're all way up in front of the building.
Yeah, I went by there. They're very close.
setback would be what? 50 feet for the
50
sheds?
feet?
No, 36.
Well, 50 feet's the requirement for any structure.
Yeah, if you give the variance, though, it would be the 36 foot, because you'd line up with the building, wouldn't you?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
If we give the variance.
May I ask a question?
Sure, Mr. Farmer?
Is the variance is for the permanent structure, not for these sheds? Is
Right.
that correct?
Yes.
I believe when the application was submitted that the sheds were not on site. That's my understanding from what I've heard.
Correct,
And
they
that
were not.
that it was for the building. So the picture shows the sheds. The sheds need to meet the setback.
So this is for this is for the existing building
Yeah,
structure
Yes.
that's been there
Yes.
only.
That's right.
It's got the yellow sign on it.
Well,
Yep,
So the sheds are in violation currently?
yep.
Not our problem.
might I make a motion, we approve the variance specifying that is only for the existing structure
That's
that
not
has
really, it's a
been there.
variance for the setback for the building.
Sheds are
Forget
not
about
our-
the sheds.
The sheds are not our problem.
Not a problem. It's staff's problem.
But if we allow that,
It's not our problem.
they could move the, it is our problem because it's before us.
No, it's not our problem.
No.
Well, for clarification, if we allow the variance,
Mm-hmm.
it's for the building.
Right.
Right.
And the sheds are separate, and they can only come up
To the front of the
to the
building.
front of the building.
Yeah, that's all they want.
So they're currently in violation
I
now.
agree.
It's a safety hazard.
So,
Yeah, not our problem.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, let's,
I understand.
The
what you're
sheds can be moved.
Oh, yeah,
Again,
they're
they've
all-
just
right.
placed them there based on their
Yeah.
standard.
Can you
Position.
scroll up to the,
The sheds are no different than a car park there. They're
Yeah.
portable units. I'd make a motion to approve the application so we can move on here.
all right, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Manning, Mr. Hammond made a motion to approve. Ms. Manning has a second. Any further discussion?
I think, yes.
Ms. Franklin?
I think the questions about the shed was for clarification. Should they meet the same setback?
Yes, they should.
Yes,
We
they
answered
should.
that, and staff is gonna have to go out there and
And move the shed.
Write a ticket.
All right, thank you.
No, Josh, yeah, you got to give that to Josh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right, moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is VA 2025-182 Creek Walk Tiny Home Community. I presented this at last month's meeting, and this item was held. Do you wish to hear the same presentation once again?
Maybe what's changed?
Okay, so what has changed is that as this body requested, we did go out, staff met with the applicant out at the site, and we did go and look at the different units that were in need, because I think you wanted a specific count of which ones needed a
You
variance.
did a good job, really.
Oh, thank you. And we did also get some photos while we were at the site, so you can kind of get a better understanding of what these different scenarios look like. There's a couple different things going on that has caused requests for these different variances. So you can see here we've got some sheds in between. You've got some side porches. Here in this case, it relates back to this photo on the right-hand side. You can see that shed has been placed off center. This is to the rear of that house, or RV, I should say, where you can see kind of a steep slope there. That's why the shed was not placed directly behind the RV in that scenario. Here's some other photos of the site. This is the wheelchair ramp on the right-hand side picture that you can see, and that's why the shed is placed off from the side of that one as well. These are the same unit numbers that were included in your packet in that memo.
If I can summarize quickly, we will not give the variance for anything but these lots right here. Everything else in the future would have to be 10 foot.
That's right.
Okay.
No,
Does the applicant want to speak real quick? You, Richard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Richard Williams, and I'm going to work at 198 Creek Walk Drive in Greenville, 29690. Just as Megan has stated, on November the 20th, the day after our meeting, we called and asked for someone to come out and show us what we need to do. I fully support everything that she says. We're asking for a variance on these lots.
Only?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Mr. Holland?
This might be for staff. In his original application dated September the 2nd, it says we are seeking a variance to cover the entire community. So will that be amended?
You can amend
Yes.
it with a condition, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The condition would be stating these specific units.
Right, but I don't want to come back later and say, oh, well, the applicant said, original application was for
Yeah,
this.
if you on the record amend it with a
Alright.
condition stating these specific ones, that will be what is the approval.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Can I get a motion?
I got a motion to approve with the specific number of unit numbers, not the entire subdivision, but these specific, to allow for 5
Yes,
foot.
ma'am.
All right, the entire development will stay at 10 foot except for these conditioned unit numbers on the list provided by staff.
I'll second.
All righty. Any further, Mr. Matisi?
Going forward, because these are structures that can be moved, taken, replaced with others down the road.
Sure.
Does the variance only support the current
Yes.
structures?
Good point.
So if
If
they're
he-
moved out, another moves in.
If you move one out and trade it for another,
Comply with the rules.
you need to comply with the 10-foot
That's correct.
rule. All right, so only these unit numbers as of this date.
As of this day.
Good point.
You amend your.
Would you amend?
So I'll amend my motion to give approval for these particular unit numbers, 203 all the way down to 258, for a 5 foot. And what do we?
No, just say, because the dimensions change.
Okay.
Only these unit numbers provided by staff as of this date. Any changes in the future, he'll have to comply with the 10-foot rule.
Like he said.
You okay with Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Everybody understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Planning report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll keep this brief so we can all get out of here. All right, just a reminder that we have a joint PC County Council workshop coming up on January 13th at 10 a.m. to discuss the impact fee feasibility study. Carson Bice will be on site to answer questions and talk more about the draft report that he's prepared for us. So if you can make it, we hope to see you there at that time. Talking about long range, the biggest thing to know right now is that long range planning is working on a year in review sort of planning report, so we'll be able to see statistics and a snapshot of everything we've done and accomplished in the past year. Looking at that draft, it's actually very interesting reading. It brings a lot of things into perspective, and so we'll bring that forward in January, include in your packet so that you can see that, and we'll bring it forward to you next month. Transportation is working on hiring a consultant to help with their long range, with our update to the long range transportation plan. We've completed interviews with 3 different consultants, and we've actually given a notice of intent to award to one. We're just working through the contract stage. Hopefully have them in place by the end of the year and get going in January to get that plan updated. And then finally, since this is our last meeting of the year, just wanted to say thank you for my first 6 months. It's been a pleasure working with you and getting to know you all. And we hope, and on behalf of all of staff, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you all. Same.
You as well. Staff did great. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
All righty. Any old business? Any new? Hearing none, we're adjourned.
Recording stopped.
It must be the bread. I got more gray than ever.
Since this is our last meeting of the year, just wanted to say thank you for my first 6 months. It's been a pleasure working with you and getting to know you all. And we hope, and on behalf of all of staff, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you all. Same.
You as well. Staff did great. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
All righty. Any old business? Any new? Hearing none, we're adjourned.